So good morning, everyone. Nice to see you here. Today, this is the second of the 6-week block of classes. It is going to be a series with just really varied classes. So I don't have a theme per se because we don't need a theme. Themes are fun, but we're just going to be doing different things. Today, we're going to be focusing a little bit more on the core. We're going to be doing a little bit of breath work. We're going to be doing a little bit of wrist exercises because they're good for everyone anytime. And just a general flow that's going to build some heat and, like I said, get you to feel your core and engage your core so that it helps you create that stability that we need in every practice. So I'll invite you to find your comfortable seated position. You can be cross-legged, you can be sitting on a block, you can be sitting on your shins like me today, and mix it up. I often invite you to explore different things. If you're always comfortable or always doing the same thing, practice mixing things up, not just on your mat, but in real life too. So welcome, and I invite you to close your eyes. So once that comfortable seated position has been felt, eyes are closed, just take this moment to be the observer and just start to notice into your body as you find some stillness, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and sensations are here, maybe really positive and sometimes maybe not so positive. But be with them anyway. If there's no pain, it's going to be safe for you. Sometimes discomfort is important for us to experience. And then we recognize that it's actually not even that uncomfortable. It's more just our thoughts in our head that are creating suffering and more discomfort. So the more that we can get out of our heads and bring our awareness into the felt sensations in our body, the more we can just be with the experience rather than with the story. So just take a nice full inhale, and when you take that breath, recognize the cool air coming in through your nose. Make it nice and slow, make it full, and fill your belly, fill your rib cage or your lungs. Maybe you feel a gentle pause for 1 second at the top of that breath, and then exhaling it all the way out through your nose and making it slow and easy. Inhale through the nose again. Notice and be observant through the body, what's changing, what's opening, what's expanding. Feel that 1 or 2 second pause at the top of that breath and exhale all the breath back. And continue doing that a few more times, being really present with each inhale. Maybe you start to notice with the breath inhaling, your spine gets longer, your crown reaches the ceiling, you expand in all directions, not just in the 360 of the chest, but from the ground to the sky. And notice that each time you exhale, can you feel the weight of your body drop over your sits bones or your legs? And as you let that breath just continue to flow, just notice if the thoughts start to fall away, if it starts to become somewhat of a meditative breath practice. And if you start to feel tingly sensations in your fingers or your toes or certain parts of your body that you don't normally feel those sensations. And then see if you can relax the muscles at the back of the eyes. What would you need to do to relax those muscles? You relax the muscles around the jaw and the neck area, the mouth, the lips. And what do you need in your body to do to relax those muscles? See that you don't stop breathing in all the concentration that it takes maybe to relax and soften certain body parts. And come back to that breath and let it flow in through your nose and out through your nose. And in general, we want to get in the habit of breathing through the nose all the time throughout our daily tasks. It allows us to stay in the parasympathetic nervous system and the rest and digest, more balanced. When our mouth is open, we breathe often faster. We take in more air that is unnecessary. And of course, it's always allowed, but to be conscious about and closing your mouth and doing both inhale and exhale through the nose. And let's just take this moment to bring our hands together, set an intention. And just take a moment as your hands are pressed to feel the weight of one hand pressing into the other. Feel the warmth, the vibration, the tingling. And then maybe even feeling your thumbs pressed into your chest. Let your chin drop so that you are gazing into that heart space. Feel the heartbeat. And just use these sensations, these opportunities to drop deeper into presence. When we drop into presence, it allows us to obviously let go of our thought. It allows us to practice patience as well. So just being here in this moment, and just being here without rushing and knowing that it's okay just to be here. So find an intention that feels aligned for you today, that you'd like to show up, knowing what your appointments or to-dos are, something that will support that. And then we'll start with a cleansing breath. Just take a full inhale through the nose. Open your mouth inside out. And then to begin, take a nice full inhale. One O together. And then take a breath, inhale and exhale, and just pause once again for a moment without feeling like we always need to rush. Practicing patience. And then let your hands drop whenever you're ready. Let your eyes blink open whenever you're ready. And again, taking your time, honoring what you need. And then just coming to your mat. We're going to just take our 2 blocks. Today we're going to use blocks. See that you have a strap nearby, just in case something comes up that reminds me. And then we have a strap handy. So we're going to start on our backs today. We're going to get into the core area a little bit. And we're going to allow ourselves to feel that core area by breathing initially. The first priority in all of our practices are to breathe, and to breathe with a nice, slow, rhythmic pattern so that it allows us to stay relaxed, especially when we're doing things that are a little bit more challenging. We're going to start on our back and take one block and make that as your little pillow and allow that to feel comfortable under the head. And then take the other block and set the block between your knees. Allow your feet to stay on the mat initially. And take one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, more or less just to feel yourself breathing as we breathe. And I'm going to just ask you to take that nice full inhale through the nose. Notice how your hands rise, how your rib cage widens, and then exhale through the nose as well. You might start to find an ujjayi sound. That's closing the glottis, closing the back of your throat, so that you're creating a little hissing sound. You're basically reducing the breath as you exhale and inhale, and allowing that sound to, first of all, inspire you, to keep you in that rhythm. But also allows our vagus nerve to become activated, and it brings us into that parasympathetic state as well. So just continue taking some nice breaths, inhaling through the nose, maybe feeling that throat close. And exhaling through the nose and pressing your lower back into the mat as you exhale. Inhaling, maybe releasing a little bit, and exhaling. Feeling your back and your rib and your core contract. Continue finding and feeling that in your body. Inhale, expand, and exhale, contract. And then notice when you breathe, just feeling your feet press into the mat, your knees squeezing the block. And notice how just by activating the feet in the mat, maybe you're feeling your pelvic floor a little bit. So there's just little exercises, little practices to develop the awareness of what happens when we do certain things. Then let's just release the hands to the sides and take the feet off the floor so that we are coming kind of into, we're sitting in a chair. And what I want you to do now is when we exhale, I want you to purse your lips and really squeeze the air out. So it's going to be a nice full inhale. Feel the ribcage expand. And as you exhale, really squeeze the air out by pursing the lips and even making that sound. That's just going to help you really force the air out and feel how your lower back presses deeply into the mat. So inhaling again and exhale. Contract the core, press into the mat. Inhale and exhale. One more. And exhale. Then take your hands as though you want to press your hands to the ceiling. And notice that when you reach your hands up to press into the ceiling, you start to round your back a little bit more just to accentuate what's happening at the core. So let's do that same breath again. Inhale through the nose. Feel the rib cage wide. And purse your lips and breathe the air out strongly. Inhaling. And exhaling. Feel a release in the lower back as you inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And one more. Inhaling. And exhale. And then slowly release your hands. You might want to move the block, set the feet back down to the floor, and just take a moment just to feel that just by breathing like that, by activating the core, pressing it into the mat, how much stimulation starts to take place in the core area. So just take your knees, rock them from left to right, and just start to feel. This creates a little twist in our back as well. When we rock the knees, getting into the hips a little bit, feeling the spine twist a little bit in the lower back. Again, this is just all being said so it can be felt. So you notice that you're not just moving your body unconsciously, but for awareness. Beautiful. Okay, then pull the knees into the chest. You can keep that block where it is if you want. Make some nice circles in the hips. Take that rotation in the opposite direction. And then we're going to grab the block again, set it between the knees. And what we're going to do is we're not going to come into a bridge pose, but all we're going to do is press the feet into the mat. So we're dialing the feet away from one another, and then just start to lift the hips away from the floor. Okay, and then exhale, lower back down. So as we lower back down, exhale all the breath out. And as we lift up, purse the lips and blow the air out again. And then exhale, slowly let the hips down as the breath releases from your body. Inhale. Exhale. Purse the lips away. And inhale as you lower back down. Exhale. And inhale. Two more like this. Exhale. And inhale. Feel your core turn on and exhale. And inhale. This next one, we're going to exhale all the breath out and keep the hips lifted. So exhale, lift all the way up. Keep the hips lifted. Inhale and hold here. Exhale, purse the lips. And imagine you're pulling your heels towards your shoulders. Keep squeezing the blocks. Feel the glutes start to burn. Each time you exhale, purse the lips, so you're really activating the core with that exhale breath. Keep it going. Let's do 5 more. Keep squeezing, even if it's burning. Let's call this the last one. And then inhale all the way back down, remove the block, and then just take your knees, rock them from side to side. Maybe make that movement a little bit bigger. And just notice the glutes, the outer hips, the inner legs. Beautiful. And then come onto your right side. And keep your head on the block if it feels okay. And take the block back between your knees. What I want you to keep awareness is each time you exhale, it's as though you're pressing your lower back into the mat. But now we're on our side, okay? So we're going to inhale. And each time we exhale, you really round the back, same idea. We're going to take the right arm and we're going to inhale the arm up. And as we exhale, round the back and come into cactus with your arms. So you're not arching your back, you're rounding your back a little bit more. Inhale, relax. And exhale, squeeze the elbow back, but round the spine like you're pushing it to the floor. Inhale, release. And exhale. Just keep your arm as a cactus arm. Inhale. And then intensify the cactus arm as you exhale. And one more. Exhale. And you're going to notice your arm's not going to go that far back because you're really rounding your back. And then come back through center. Let your arm come back. And then come on to the other side. So I'm going to just turn my own body so I can continue to look at you. You guys can roll over right on the other side if you want. And again, they're all just little experiments, little drills for different parts of the body to be felt and sensed. So now I'm going to put my block between the knees again. My left side is on the floor. And I'm going to imagine that my back is pressing into a floor as we do this exercise. So inhale, take the arm up. Bring it into cactus. And exhale, round the spine, like really draw the navel in, contract the core. And to make that sound, makes the core turn on a little bit more. Release on the inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, you release a little bit. Exhale, contract the core around the spine. Inhale and exhale. And one last time, inhale and exhale. And release. So essentially what we're doing is little cat-cows on our side, but we're using the breath to remind us to contract the core, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's confusing, sometimes it's challenging when we do something new. Come back up, and it doesn't matter whether you did it right or wrong. It's still an exploration, and the more we do things, the more it becomes familiar. So just coming to a seated position, let's put your right shin in front. See that your right shin is in front. That way, when I give instructions, we're all going to be doing the same thing, and it's not going to be opposite. So inhale, take both of your arms up to the sky. Drop your right wrist to the floor, and then look to your right wrist, the one that's on the floor. And then we're going to just take the left arm as though I want to take my armpit and tuck it over my right knee. So really round the back, contract your core, and exhale here. Inhale, come back up a little bit, straighten. And exhale, contract the core. Look to your right hand. Inhaling, lift up. And really feel that back side of your body. Get a nice deep stretch. Exhale. Inhaling. Lengthen. And exhale. And last one. Inhale, lift up. And exhale. Come back through center. So just so you know, we are doing almost like a little cat-cow just to focus on that left side. Do the same thing on the right side now. Inhale, take the arms all the way up. Take your left hand to the floor. Look to your left hand. So you're kind of turning your upper body. It becomes just a gentle twist here. Inhale, get long through that left arm. And exhale like you want to take your armpit and wrap it around your left knee. Exhaling. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. And exhale, look to your elbow. Draw your navel, not your elbow, your hand. Draw your navel in on the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale. You feel that nice stretch all on that right side of your back. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale one last time. And exhale. And then come up, bring both arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to the floor. Just take a moment here to pause. Feel that by breathing intently and intentionally, you start to really feel the energy flush through your body, vibrating into different parts of your body. I'm really feeling it in my brain, actually. Just bring all that oxygen into the brain. Beautiful. And let's take the hands behind us. We're just going to come into the hips a little bit. Forget what I just said. Keep your legs the way they are. This is why I intentionally wanted your right leg in front. And with your hands either on the floor or not, we're going to lift that right leg. We're going to come into a hip opening rotation. Take that right leg, maybe let it float a little bit. Take the leg behind you. And we're going to have 90-90 in both legs. Okay, so 90-90. And we're going to just turn to the back of the mat. Turn back to the front of the mat. So you're kind of sideways now. And just feel each hip drop, feel your torso turn. Okay, do that one last time. And this time, we're now going to just be turning to the right side. So rather than coming back to where we started, keep that right knee like it's the back of your mat, but it's your front of the mat. And now take your left leg, either with your hands on the floor or not. Maybe you can keep your hands off the mat. And you lift that leg and find an internal rotation now, taking the foot so that both legs are crossed in front, okay? So we're gonna do the same breath thing again. Okay, I'll face you once again. Now my left leg is in front. Inhale, taking both arms up. Exhale the left hand back down to the floor again. And I'm going to inhale, lengthen. And exhale, really cove the little back, like the armpit wants to wrap the knee, twist to the left. Exhale, purse the lips. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Slow and strong. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Last time and exhale. Come back through center. Take both arms up. Take your right hand to the floor this time. Look to your right hand. So you're just coming into a gentle twist. Inhale, get length through the body. And exhale, wrap that left arm around the armpit around the knee. Exhale, purse the lips. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, purse. While you exhale, inhale, lengthen. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And one last time. Really feel the stretch in the upper back. Exhale. Come back through center. Take both arms up to the sky. Hands to the floor. I'm going to just turn my body. You guys stay where you are. My left leg is in front. I'm going to now lift my left leg. Take it all the way back. Use your hands if you need to or not. And I'm going to windshield wiper my legs again. Full rotations. Look to the front of the mat. And exhale, look to the back of the mat. and just really be present into the joint in your hip. What are you feeling? Are they the same? Is there clicking going on? And imagine when we're doing these movements that you're always staying activated in these muscles in the legs. It's as though you're pushing your legs through really thick liquid, okay? So you really have to contract so that you can get the movement with ease in both directions, okay? Come back to the top of your mat. We will take the right leg now, once again, to lift it up, use your hands or not, and bring the legs crosswise to the front of the mat again. I will face you, you stay where you are. Inhale, let's take the arms all the way up. And exhale, just come into a forward fold this time. And then just start to reach your arms forward. Take a few breaths, bringing awareness into the outer hips as you come into this forward fold. Can you, with your hands, push the mat away so that you are maybe pressing your butt, your glutes to the mat a little bit more? And feel the contraction in the joints of the hips as you're pressing back. This is really nourishing for those joints when we're activating and contracting. Take a few breaths still. Feel that hip space, get nourished. And then inhale, come back up. Take your hands behind you. And all we're going to do is switch the legs and do the same thing, folding forward. And again, just notice when we fold forward like this, what's the difference between both hips? Which way of crossing your legs feels more comfortable? Just to start to be more present in the body. Your hands reaching out in front of you, pull your hands towards your knees and start to feel contraction in the core. Now push your hands away from you and press your butt back to the mat a little bit more. Still feeling the contraction, maybe in different places, and then lift yourself back up. Beautiful. Just come into the shoulders now. Big circles in both directions. And again, really being present in the articulation of the movement. Pull the shoulders up to the ears. Really pulling the shoulders forward, feeling the shoulder blades pull apart. As you press down, really feel your neck get long. And when you go back, really creating that space in your chest as the shoulder blades come together. Beautiful. Let's take the wrists. And I said I was going to do a little bit of wrist stuff, especially for Martina with her tendonitis. And this can come upon for anyone. So it's really important to always keep that mobility moving in the wrist. So do whatever movement feels right. And then we're going to just not use our own forces, against the hands, but our own mobilization of the wrist. You know, how does it feel? How deep do these rotations go? And then we're going to just come into a flexion, wrist forward and lift up. Wrist forward and lift up. And really squeeze the wrist and find tension as you go forward. So we're just focusing on forward right now. And do this on your own as well. About 3 rounds of 5, let's say. You know, just to keep the mobilization, all the tendons, all the tissues in the wrist nice and nourished. And then we can go back. So flex your hands this time. This is a flexion. And we're going to come into an extension. So extend your fingers and then push as though you want to get your fingers, I can come a little bit closer, as though you want to get your fingers to touch the floor. Okay? So push it back and then release and then push them back and release. And this is your end range, right? You're not using the floor to get you deeper. And this is really good to practice building that strength, because you have to use your own contractions here. Start to notice where else you're feeling it up your arm, okay? About 5 times, 3 rounds, shake it out. We won't do 3 rounds, but just to give you an idea. And then what else is really important is, well, actually, let's do it this way. Come into table and then just lower your forearms to the floor. Take your palms up so that we have
something sturdy underneath our arms. And we're gonna just turn the wrists in and turn the wrists out. Can you touch the mat with your thumb? Turn the wrists in, touch the mat with your thumb, and turn the wrists out. And then turn them in. And then turn them out. This is called pronation. And then do that a few times. Make it slow, really find your end range. And then this is, that's supination. And then this is supination when we turn them this way. And supination is when we do this, when we make like a fan with the wrist, okay? So again, have your hands on the floor so you have some stability on your arms, and then bring your baby fingers towards you, and then bring your baby fingers away from you. So all the different articulations again of the wrist. And it's okay if your wrists get fatigued. That's just strengthening the tissues, okay? And keep your hands as parallel to the floor as possible. Beautiful. We do 5 of those. Really slow motion, activating, that's good. And then shake it out once again. And let the wrists be free and dangling. So it's really important to get blood flushing to these tissues on a regular basis. So the other thing we could do, again, only do this if you can. When we're in table, we do this a lot. We're going to just make some circles in through the wrists. And anytime your wrists get really weak, making a fist is also helpful, right? Because you still have the stability. So that's a good way to come into table when your wrists are really tender. Both directions. And if you're feeling pain or anything like that coming on, then back off. That's obviously common sense, but we don't always all have common sense. So you're doing these in both directions. And then we're going to just go forward and backwards again. This is extension and flexion. Forward and back. And see that you're pressing not just into the palm of the hand or the heel of the hand, but use all 10 fingers. And then we're going to turn the wrists the opposite way, just going a little bit deeper into extension. Sit back on your heels. And again, you decide where you want your hands to be. They can be further away. And it's easier the closer they are to your knees. And then just work on sinking back. And go slowly, don't overdo it, and just find your end range. Beautiful. And then one more thing, just for off the mat. If you have one of these little tension balls, it's really great to just squeeze the ball and then hold the contraction and then slowly release it, obviously both hands. Or if anyone has one of these things, I just thought I'd show. I have this on my desk. And in between, when I see it, just hold it, squeeze it, hold it. Holding is really good. These held contractions, this is called isometric holds, are really good. So if you have those, super. If you want them, order them. Okay, so just shake out the wrists again because we've just done a lot. And we're just going to come into, stay into table for a moment. And we're going to just do a few cat cows just to get into the spine again. Inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, you might even want to purse your lips and psh. Inhale, lift up. And exhale. Psh. It'll just help you really contract in the core. Inhale. And exhale. Psh. Inhale. And exhale. Psh. One last time. Inhale. And exhale. Psh. And just by breathing like that, up until this point, you should be feeling your core. Come into downward dog and start pedaling out the legs. And alternate the legs, heel, toe, really being intentional with each leg, following that nice stretch up the back of the calf, up the hamstrings into the pelvis. Give the head a shake, see that it's free. Take both feet, turn both feet to the right. And these things can also be done on the forearms. If you have really tender wrists, it can be done on the forearms. Turn both feet to the right and then press into the mat. Lift your butt as high as it can go. Feel a nice stretch through the right side of the body. Turn both feet to the left. Push the hands away, push the forearms away, and really lift that left hip as high as you can go. And come back to downward dog. Forearms or not, pedal it out. And then just walk your feet to the top of the mat, or jump, or however you want to get there. Come into that forward fold. Grab your opposite elbows. Transfer the weight in the front of your feet. Spread your toes. Feel like you've got space between each toes. And then let your body rest on your thighs so that you're really getting long through your spine. Feel this sense of traction. Can you release your head so much that you feel this beautiful lengthening stretch in the neck, maybe into the spine? And again, each time you breathe, see that you are leaning into the front of your feet a little bit more. Your heels still touch the mat, but the weight is in the front of the feet. And again, come back to that breath. Maybe you don't have to purse your lips and really strongly, make that sound, but do you have that rhythm, that little habit in your body? That exhale is contracting your core a little bit. Let your arms dangle, and one vertebrae at a time, come all the way up to standing. And your head up last, your hands up last, actually, your head up last from your spine, and then your arms up to the sky. Come with your hands in front of your chest. Take a moment just to ground your feet, organize and activate. Root your feet deeply into the mat. The ball of the big toe and the big toe are pointing forward, okay, and everything lines up in behind. Press as though you're creating an imprint into the mat. Dial your feet away from one another. And notice over time, I've been doing this for a while, I don't have to put on this big force anymore. My body is feeling it automatically now, that it's really light and easy. It doesn't have to be crazy and overdone. Start to feel this external rotation at the feet. Feel the activation on the ankles. Knees are always micro bent, never hyperextended. And then feel the outer thighs, the inner thighs, the glutes, the pelvic floor. This beautiful line up the spine. And then we're going to take the line all the way up through the fingertips, clasp the hands, and make a little TP finger steeple with your fingertips. Inhale, get long through the spine, and exhale, lean to the right. And while we're leaning to the right, imagine that both of your hands are pulling away from one another. Again, we're getting activation all the way up the arms, even into the hands. So developing, again, all the tension, the tendons in the hands. And then root a little bit more into your left foot. Can you get longer on the left side of your body? Keep your heart lifted. And notice that when you're here, you're not rounding your back. You are staying long and parallel along the side of your body. Inhale, use your breath, lift yourself back up. And we're going to come right onto the left side. So again, get long through the body, and exhale, lean to the left. And then inhaling, feel the length on that right side of the body. Root into your right foot a little bit more. Soften the jaw. Feel the feet rooting, body lengthening. The breath flowing. Inhale, come all the way back up through center. And exhale, release the hands. Again, shake out through the shoulders. This little bouncing action allows the lymph nodes to get flushed. That's where we have the toxins they want to flush out and through to get into the kidneys to release to the body, from the body, and then come back up. We're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to just add something to challenge our balance a little bit more. So inhale, get long through the body. Imagine you're pulling your hands away from one another. Exhale on towards the right side. Root into both feet. Feel really grounded. Feel the dialing out action. And then from here, all we're going to do is lift the left foot and then find a little extension in the left foot, whatever degree that's going to be, without falling. Feel your core engage to give you that stability. Keep staying long in the body, and then release by setting the foot back up, down, and then bring the body straight. Come right into the second side again, lengthen. Imagine your hands are pulling apart, so feel the activation down the arms into the shoulders. And then exhale to the left side. Feel really rooted in both of your feet. Dial both feet away from one another. Now really bring the attention to the left foot, rooting down, keeping that stability, and then taking the right leg off the floor. Find a focal point, someplace where it gives you stability and allowing you to stay really strong. And then feel from your fingertips to the outer edge of your extended leg, really, really long through the body. And then come set the foot down first, and then lift the body up second. And exhale, release the arms. Oh, it's such a nice feeling to be able to let go of the arms and then bounce it out again. Feel everything flushing from the shoulders. Oh, here are the lymph nodes. You might even feel them in your neck and in your groin area. Oh, and then let us begin. Shake out whatever needs to be shaken out. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale, Surya Namaskar. Take the gaze to your thumbs as you lift and gaze. Exhale, forward fold, bend into your knees as much as you need. Give the head a shake here. Roll the shoulders here. Take a moment. And then bring your awareness back to your feet, dialing them away from one another. Inhale, lift up halfway. Feel that gentle back bend. I am doing a, bring the shoulder blades together here. Feel the heart lift. Hands back down to the mat. Take 2 big steps back. Come into plank. Exhale, dialing the hands away from one another. Either set your knees to the floor or not. And be in control, whether your knees are there or not, as you come down. Slow motion. We're going to come into baby cobra. Again, these poses strengthen the muscles in the back, but we need the core to be strong in order to do this. Push into the tops of both of your feet. Feel your kneecaps pull away from the floor, hands by your rib cage, and imagine that you're dialing your hands away from one another. Lift the heart, lengthen through the neck, and exhale, slow motion, lower it back down. Inhale, lift up, long through the body, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and exhale, slowly lower back down. Use the breath. Make that sound, that hissing sound, that ujjayi breath sound. Exhale, lower down. 3. Inhale. See that you've got a 90-degree angle in the elbows. Exhale. Keep squeezing. You don't even need to release here. Last time, inhale long through the body. And exhale, lower back down. Pause, make a little pillow with your hands. Maybe even making little circular motions in the wrists. See what the wrists need. This is an opportunity to adjust or shake out what needs to be done. Let's bend the knees and just rock the entire hips. Windshield wiping the legs. Beautiful. Extend your arms out in front. We're going to use a block now between the hands. Again, this is going to turn on the core muscles. I often refer to hand core activation or foot core activation. When we squeeze the block, this is a hand contraction into something. It's not the floor, but it's a block. And we're squeezing the block. And notice when you squeeze the block, do you feel your core engage somewhat? And then engage it a little bit more. And then we're going to come into Shalabhasana, lifting the feet away, lifting the arms, neck is long, jaw is soft. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, slowly release the breath. Inhale, lengthen, soften the jaw. Exhale, release the breath. Inhale, 4. Get longer through the tail, the toes and the arms. Exhale, feel the glutes totally turn on. And last one, inhale. Squeeze the block a little bit more, whatever you have in you. And exhale, slowly lower back down. Releasing the block. Finding a pillow for your head, rock the hips from side to side. And just notice again, where in your body are you feeling that activation? And then let's take child's pose, sink your hips back. Let your head be heavy. And again, do what you need to do. Do you want your arms along the sides of your body? Do you want to make a pillow? You want to rock from side to side. Close your eyes and feel your body and ask what it needs. Does it need a big breath in the lower back? Inhale the arms up in front, tuck the toes under, come into downward dog. Pedal out the legs a little bit, feel the feet, get a nice waking up through the Achilles tendons, back of the legs again. Let's just inhale that right leg, three-legged dog. And again, you can be on your forearms here. We're going to make some big circles with the hips, so bend your right knee, pull your right knee into your chest, open your right leg out to the side, and send the leg back. Let's do two more like this. So it is just a isolated movement of the hips. See that you're not coming forward into plank pose or moving your spine. And see that both of your arms are really strong, holding you here. So that was 3 for me. Inhale, send the leg behind you, three-legged dog. And now send the nose to the knee, round the back. This means you're going to bring your shoulders over your wrists. Set your right foot to the inside of your right hand. Drop your back knee. Let's come into Anjaneyasana. We're going to do something similar to what we did when we were on the mat, okay? So imagine we're pressing our back on the mat, and we're going to take the arms like when we were on the mat. Remember when both of our legs were overhead? Now just this leg is back, okay? We're going to take the arms up, inhale, and as we exhale, purse the lips and contract your core. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. It's a little bit like a cat-cow. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. So feel your core turn on here. Stay here for a moment. And so this is avoiding us to come and to collapse into our lumbar spine. We're staying contracted here. Take your arms pointing, your fingers pointing forwards, and inhale, staying contracted. All we're doing is a twist in the upper body. Gaze to your right thumb. Inhaling here. And exhaling. Press into your right foot and dial your right foot out a little bit more. I want you to feel really a lot of contraction in legs, in the glutes. See that you're not pulling your shoulders to your ears. Let them sink down. Soften the jaw. Take one more breath. Exhale, bring the arms shoulder height. Inhale, bring the arms to the sky. Exhale, windmill the arms. Again, just let the shoulders and be free. Grab your blocks if you like, or have them handy to see if you need them. And we're going to pull that right hip back, extend the right leg, and come into a forward fold. Forward fold, again, doesn't mean that we round our back to try to get to the knee. It means that we keep our spine long. If we need to bend the knee, we can. Otherwise, we'll only to the point that you can feel a nice stretch without compensating. Take a few breaths here. Flex your front foot so that there's life in your foot. And imagine you're pulling that right heel back. You might feel a nice stretch in your glute, in your lower back. Soften the jaw. Bend into your front knee. And then from here, we're going to step it forward. You can either use your blocks or you can use the floor. We're going to pull that left leg and send it through. So all we did was, we're having it behind us, just bring it through. Get there however you need to get there. We are going to keep the right knee bent deeply. The left leg, the block on the inside of the left leg. And flex the left foot. So an easy way to get out of doing work would be to lean back. And if you did lean back and you jumped your leg back and forth over the brick, it's super easy. But what we want to do is pull up against our thigh, get as close as possible. If you do need to use your hands, you can. We're going to flex the extended leg. And we're going to just lift the leg over the block, inhaling and exhaling. This works the hip flexor on the left side, but also engaging your core, just developing that core strength. So make it slow, make it intentional, keep the foot flexed. Keep the spine long. Beautiful. Let's do one more end on the outside of the block. And then we'll do 3 with the block a little bit higher if you want. Give it a try. Inhale, lift up a little higher, set it to the inside. Lift up a little higher, set it back. 2 more like this. And use your body to pull against your thigh to keep your spine straight. And one last time, your foot flexor should be felt, hopefully. And then from here, straighten both legs. Don't straighten both legs. Bend both legs. We're going to just come into reverse table just to stretch the hip flexor. So I will stay this way. Hands behind you. Inhale, dial the hands away, dial the feet away. Lift up. Come into nice hip flexor. Feel your pubic bone lift to the ceiling. Again, you can decide what you want to do with your head. Keep looking at your knees or let the head sink back. And then exhale, lower back down. Ooh. I'm going to come into a little twist. So now extend your right leg. Keep your left leg twisted over or bind it over that extended leg. You can keep the right leg bent or straight. Again, it's all a knee thing. So listen to what your knees need. And we're going to do that little twist again. So seated twist. Again, pull it up against your shin so that your spine stays nice and long. We're going to lift the left arm, get long through the body, windmill the hand behind you. The right arm lifts up. And while you're extending through the torso, this is where you find that rotation. Hook the elbow, hug the leg, see what feels right in your body. And then continue to use your breath to take you deeper. You might even want to come back to that pursing of the lips and making that sound to really remind you that the breath helps you go deeper. Inhaling, get long through the spine. And exhaling, feel your core contract. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. It also helps you breathe slower. You're slowing the air that comes out down. Inhaling. And exhale. Last one. Unwind. Look to the front. Take your whole body. Look to the other side. Maybe come into a forward fold. See what feels good for you. Unwind the left leg. Straighten the right leg. Unwind the left leg. And this is how we came into the pose. Use your blocks if you need to, or get out however you need to. Let's see, how do we do that? Hold on. Oh, wrong. Doesn't matter. We're just going to switch the legs. So the right leg is bent, the left leg is straight. And we're going to send the left leg back. Coming into warrior, back into a lunge, and send your right leg behind you, 3-legged dog. So I just got the legs mixed up. No biggie. Pedal out the legs, shake out the head. See how you're feeling? And come into the other side. Left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Get long through the body. Let's start by making some circular motions into the hips. Pull the knee into the chest. Take the leg out to the left. Take the leg up and behind. And do that 2 more times. Big circular motions in the joint of that left hip. And see that you stay really stable in the body. It's just isolating the movement in the hip joint. 3 big circles. And when you're done, that last circle, extend your leg behind you. Pull the nose to the knee. Bring the shoulders over the wrist. Stay here. Feel your core. Lift that knee as high as it can go. And then exhale, set the foot to the inside of your left hand. Drop your right knee. And then inhale, no lunge, Anjaneyasana. Again, feel grounded here in that left foot. Feel that left foot as though it's dialing out. The knees pressing to the left. You'll feel your hip come back. Arms up. And as we take the arms down, imagine you are pushing the ceiling away like we're on our back. And we're going to make that pursing sound with our lips. Draw the navel in and feel that you're pressing your back into the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One last time. Exhale. Stay here for a moment. Reach your fingers out in front of you. Feel really solid in your foundation. Take the left arm. Open it. Follow the thumb with your gaze. Feel your core contract. It's still as though you're pressing it into the mat. And hold here. Feel your contraction in your whole body. Feel the stability in your whole body. The steadiness. Take one more breath. Reach the fingers even further away from one another. And then exhale. Bring your arms out in front. Inhale, take the arms to the sky. Let's make some nice circular motions. Decide if you want to take those in the opposite direction. Shake out the arms and the shoulders. We're going to take the blocks or not. And we're going to just come into half Hanumanasana, half splits. And then send the hips back. Flex your extended left leg. And imagine you are dragging your left heel back. And I sometimes like to have my blocks even further ahead so that I'm reaching for them. So I'm creating this extension through my spine. Inhaling and exhaling. And you're only going to get out of the pose as much as you put into it. So really feel that left leg pulling back. Feel that stretch all the way up the back of that left leg into the glute. Soften the jaw. Beautiful. And then release. And now we're going to step it forward. You can decide if you want to use the blocks or not. Sending your right leg forward. Your left leg stays bent. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Grab a block, set it in the inside of your extended right leg. Pull up against your bent knee. Feel the spine nice and long. Flex your extended leg. Inhale, lift up. And set it down on the inside. So get that block set up so you have enough room to move that leg. Inhale. The leg is flexed. And imagine you are moving that leg through thick molasses. Slow motion. That means that muscle of that entire leg needs to be turned on. Soften the jaw and see that the breath flows easy, because this isn't easy. So we need to find a way to balance our nervous system. Soften the jaw, relax the shoulders. Let's do one more, and then finish up with the leg on the outside of the block. Take the block a little higher. We'll only do 3 of these. Inhale, lift up, and lower down. And you know what? If it's really challenging, use your hand to show the leg what it needs to do so that the nervous system starts to learn something new. Okay? Because it's challenging. And see that you're not leaning back too much. Stay nice and upright. Once you've done your 3, remove your block. Pause for a moment. Let's bend the knees and just windshield wiper the legs. And then we'll come into reverse table in a moment, just to stretch that hip flexor. So we're developing the strength here at the joint. And then reverse table if you'd like. And for the wrist injuries, you can come on your forearms on a block. Okay? That feels like it's too much. Let's see. Yeah, that works. And then imagine when you're up here, that you're pulling your heels towards your hands towards your heels. You're still dialing your feet away from one another, and then slowly release back down. Oof. These little things are intense. So this time we are going to, with the left leg extended, set the right leg now over top of the left leg. You can keep that left leg bent or not. I like it bent. I feel more rounded and more compact. And then from here, let's lift the right arm to the sky. Get long through the whole right side of the body, hand to the floor. Inhale the left side, again long, and while you're long, this is where we twist. Hook the elbow, however you want to hook it. And then continue exhaling deeper and using that sound. Inhale and exhale. So this doesn't become passive or stay passive. Keep using that sound. Feel your core really contract in. Be inspired by the sound. one last breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Release. Come back through center. Oh, take the gaze in the opposite direction. A little baby forward fold or whatever feels right for you. Beautiful. And then grab your block. Okay, let's see if I do this right. You're going to keep the left leg bent, the right leg straight, and use the blocks if you need to. Lift up, send that right leg behind you. And then come into three-legged dog. Exhale, lower the floor to the foot to the floor. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So decide if you want to come into a forearm downward dog. So this is a great alternative for wrist injuries or wrist pain. And then bending your knees as much as you need to so that you're not rounding your back. And then coming back to your breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Hands are dialing away from one another. Do you feel that action taking place all the way up the arm, into the shoulder, into the trunk of the body? Look between your hands. This time we're going to take 2 big steps outside of your hands and drop into Malasana. So each pose, we want to just get in to this pose as often as possible, squat pose. We want to be doing this when we're 80, we really do. So eventually we want to work on getting our feet pointing forwards. If they're not, it's perfectly fine. But wherever we are, we want to dial our feet away from one another here. Notice as soon as you do that, as soon as I do that, I feel like I lift up, like everything contracts, it gets stronger. But what we're mostly doing when we're doing this is we're strengthening the feet, the soles of the feet, around the ankles, all the tendons and tissues. There aren't that many muscles in the foot, but just like in the wrists and the hands, there's mostly tissues and tendons and ligaments. So we're strengthening those. We're going to come into crow pose just because we're here and it's fun. Crow pose. If you're challenged with crow's pose, you can start by being on a block. So bringing your feet a little bit closer together, knees wide, hands to the mat, dial your hands away from one another. Again, if you have wrist issues, be gentle. Look forward, always looking forward, resting the knees on the upper arms. And if you're not there yet, just lift 1 foot at a time. And the body will start to understand how to contract and hold you in these poses when we take our time and go slow, lifting 1 foot. Hold for 5 breaths, 3 breaths, whatever it is that works for you. And then coming back out of the pose, back into a squat, Malasana. Take your arms out in front of you. Again, continue to dial your feet away from one another so it's the strength from the earth all the way up. Lifting you up, dialing and contracting, arms to sky. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. And once again, just pause in stillness. And just think about all the movements we've done in the wrists, in the core, in the lower back, into the hips. What vibrations are you feeling? What sensories are new? And then whenever you're ready, open your eyes. Surya Namaskara B. Second round, bend the knees. Inhale, lift up into chair pose, lift your heart. And dialing your feet away from one another here. Feel that sense of grounding, rootedness. Hips go back, heart goes forward. And I've said this many times, rather than being like this with arms bent, get active through the arms. Maybe it means your arms have to be here. It's an external rotation of the shoulders. And then we lift the heart. Take 1 more breath here, soften the jaw. Exhale, hands through heart to come to the mat with the feet, with the hands by the feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Feel a flat back. Exhale, hands by your feet. Take 2 big steps back, come into plank. Beautiful, super. So again, this can be on the forearms if you are having issues with your elbows. We're going to bring the knee to center and the nose to the knee. And bring the shoulders right over the wrists. Push the mat away even more. Keep lifting that knee. And you're going to feel your core. This is developing that core strength. Plank is one of the best poses to develop that core strength. Soften the jaw, and then exhale, send the leg behind you. And do the other side right away. Inhaling, pull the nose to the knee, round the back, dialing the hands away from one another. So it's not just the hands pressing into the mat, but it's entire arm contracting. These internal forces and contraction that keep the strength and the stability going. And then exhale, send the leg back. Let's lower all the way down. Beautiful. Make a little pillow with your hands once again. And rock the hips from side to side. And this next pose is really strengthening for the back and for the lumbar spine and for your IS joint, your iliosacral joint. That's the joint that's between your sacrum and your pelvis. And this is where a lot of people have pain and inflammation. It feels like that lower back pain. Well, it is in your lower back, but it's usually that joint. This develops strength for that joint. And again, we're using the core. We're actually contracting the core to get there. So let's start in Shalabhasana. I love this pose actually. And then get long through the body. So inhaling, pressing into your pubic bone, into the mat. Feel your core contract. Soften the jaw. And then bend your knees. And then imagine you want to get your heels to your glutes. So keep squeezing, keep squeezing. And then let's take the arms back as though you want to grab your feet, but you won't. Let's find an external rotation at the shoulders. So it means our thumbs are going to look up to the sky. Neck is long, no torquing in the neck. And squeeze, squeeze. Feel your glutes turn on. Feel your shoulder blades pinch together. See that your jaw stays relaxed. See that your breath stays even. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Inhaling. And exhaling. And 1 final breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then release all the way down. Oh, if that doesn't make you or allow you to feel your whole backside of your body, I don't know what does. Feeling it from my toes to the crown of my head. Rock it out. See what your body needs. Again, close your eyes and ask your body what it could use right now. And then together we're going to come back into child's pose. So neutralizing that back bend. Again, make a pillow or not. Your arms along your torso or overhead. And then coming back to your breath. Your breath is always the guide that tells us if it's been too much or too little. Beautiful. And then let's roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And let's come onto our shins. And we're going to come into like a camel pose, but we're going to actually be using the core a little bit more. Not more, the same as we normally would, but the focus is going to be more on the core than a back bend. We're going to stay straight in our back. And we're going to take our arms shoulder height. We're going to inhale, get long through the spine. And as we get, you can actually have the toes curled under as well. So experiment what feels better, toes curled under or not. I'm not, but I think it might, I don't know. It's just what speaks to me right now. But again, there's no right or wrong. So inhale, get long through the spine. Feel your glutes turn on. Squeeze your glutes here already. And as we exhale, lower back. Go back as deep as your body allows. And hold here. Inhaling. And exhaling. So you're squeezing your glutes and pressing your pubic bone forward. Not going into a back bend. Inhaling. And exhaling. And the next inhale, come back up. And exhale the arms. And again, see what your body needs. You need to shake out the legs or move the position. We're going to do that 2 more times. So strengthen again the quadriceps, these hip joints, but the core is what is giving us the ability also to hold, right? Inhale, take your arms shoulder height. And exhale, leaning it back. Exhaling. We're going to stay here. Squeeze the glutes. Push that pelvic forward. Pelvic bone forward. Keep the heart lifted. See that you're not falling back. You're staying as though you're contracting or pushing your lower back into the floor again. Inhaling. Exhaling. And one last breath here. Inhaling. Exhaling, and then lift back up. And pause. And if you need to, sit back down. Maybe cover the thighs. Rub the thighs, and we'll do one last round of that. Okay, inhale and lifting up. Arms out in front. Inhale, get long through the spine. And exhale, sink back. Squeeze the glutes. Press your pubic bone forward. Feel the core turn on. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more breath here. And then inhale, lift all the way back up. Oof. And stretch the legs out the back. See what they need. Maybe a downward dog, maybe just one side at a time. Good, and we'll go through one more flow. Inhale, take the right leg up behind you. Pull the nose to the knee round the back. Set your foot to the inside of your right hand and stay high. This time in warrior one. And again, it starts at the earth, this foundation, this organization, activation. Press your right foot deeply into the mat. Dial it externally without moving it. Feel the knee press to the right. Feel everything turn on here. Your hip comes back. Your pelvic does this automatic tilt. So you're going to feel the core turn on. Exhale your arms and do that strong pursing of the lips as you exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Open up in a twist. We'll only do 3 of those and look to the right. And bend into that front knee, maybe a little bit more. Soften the jaw. Inhale, take both arms to the sky. We're going to transfer the weight now into the right leg. So lean forward. Come to standing. So as I lean forward, I'm going to come to standing and pull my left knee into the chest. Again, see that right foot is grounding. There's organization, activation going up that entire leg. And then we're going to exhale, pull the right leg. Send the right leg forward and bring your arms back. So imagine that pulling back, lifting the chest is allowing that leg to drive forward a little bit more. Inhale, send the arms up, bend the knee, and exhale, squeeze. Press the heel into the wall in front of you. Inhale, lift up. You're going to feel your core work. Exhale. You can even use that breath again. Inhale, lift up, and exhale. Inhale one more time, and exhale. Step it back gracefully. Bend into your right leg. Send it with a big lunge back. Again, this is all being enabled because of your solid foundation, that right leg. Open up the arms, open up the legs. Come into nice warrior 2 pose. Right arm opens and just feel a nice lateral stretch, breathing up that right side of the body again. While you're here, I often see when we're in warrior 2 and leaning back, that right leg gets lazy and drops inward. Keep pressing it to the right. Don't let it go to the left. Take another breath here, inhaling. Exhaling, come into warrior 2. Come back into warrior 1. Sink into your front knee, and then come onto a 45-degree angle. Imagine you've got a beach ball between your hands, and see that you are drawing your navel in. So the exhale can also be that pursed lip sound again. Inhaling and exhaling. It's going to draw your navel in. It's going to encourage the core to turn on. Inhaling and exhaling. Come out of the pose. Windmill the arms. Send the hands to the mat. Right leg comes back. 3-legged dog. And exhale, lower the foot to the floor. Same thing on the other side. Last sign before we finish up. Lift that leg, get long through the body. And exhale, set the foot to the inside of your left hand. Bend into your front knee. Inhale, take the arms up. And once again, see that left hip comes back. Gentle tilt of the pelvis. It's going to turn on those core muscles. And purse your lips as you exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take the arms up, come into a little twist here. Left gaze to the left thumb. Pressing into the mat, dialing both that left foot away from to the left so that you're really grounding and feeling stable. Press into the ball of that right foot. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to transition to standing. So lean forward, come to stand and take both arms to the sky. And again, we're going to make that sound as we press the right heel into the wall in front of us. Inhaling. Exhale. Last one, 5. Inhale, lift up. Gracefully step it back, slow motion. Set your leg down, whoopsie, open up, come right into warrior 2. And warrior 2, it's as though you're dialing both feet away from one another. Feel that left foot turning out, but it's not going to move. It's going to encourage the knee to press to the left, the pelvis to open the hip back, and then tickling the fingertips to the sky as you reach that left arm up and over. And again, breathe deeply into the left side of your body. You might even want to try that pursing of the lips and really forcing the air out. You're going to feel a deeper stretch on that left side. And then the idea is then to not have to purse the lips anymore and just use your own breath to continue that, feeling that same sensation. Come back into warrior 2. Turn your body back into warrior 1. You grab that beach ball again. So exhale and lean forward. Imagine you holding that beach ball, squeeze it together, draw your, feel the pelvic tilt. And then the same thing, 5 breaths here, inhaling, purse the lips. Inhale. Really contract the core. 2 more. 1 more. Move the next breath, lift yourself up. 1 your hands, big circles back down to the mat. Send your left leg back, 3-legged dog. Lower the foot to the floor. Stay here. We'll just stay here for 3 more breaths. Pushing the hands away from your feet away from your hands. See that you have a micro bend in your knees. And see that you are dialing your hands away from one another. So it's almost like you are trying to straighten or, pull the shoulder blades away from one another. Draw the navel in, feel it long through the spine. And then set your knees to the floor. Come through child's pose. Pause here. Be still. And then take your arms overhead. Tuck your toes under. Come back into downward dog. Let's take 2 big steps around our feet. Again, top of the mat. Sink the hips back down. Again, set your feet up. See that you are dialing your feet away from one another here, feeling really stable and strong. It is better that your feet get practice pressing into the mat rather than being on your toes. So that might mean you start a little bit higher. okay? And over time, your feet will become adjusted, and you're gonna be able to just lower and lower and lower, okay? There's a time for blocks or blankets, which is absolutely no problem either, but in this case, see that you're also not using your hands to open your legs, but your legs are doing it on their own, okay? Using your own contraction. Take your arms out in front of you, take your arms high, push the earth away and come all the way to standing. Feel that it's a whole body, whole leg action. Exhale, hands in front of the heart, close your eyes. Feel your heartbeat, feel your breath. All across your fingertips. Once again, just coming back to your intention. How do you want to show up today? It's important for you today. What can you take with you from your practice? Sometimes we only notice once we're in the world how this practice has supported us. Then release the arms to the side. We're going to come into chair pose once again, sinking down into the heels, into the hips, back. Beautiful. Dial your feet away from one another, and we're going to come onto our toes. So a little toe stand here. So imagine that you want to bring your knees together. You want to pull your knees apart and your heels together, but they're going to stay parallel. So turn on the muscles. Feel them in the quads, around the knees. I really had a lot of issues with my knee. I felt my knee a lot after I had an operation. And since practicing this way, my knee has become so strong. So little things like these are so valuable for your ankles, the soles of your feet, for the knees, into the glutes. And we're going to come all the way down. So set your heels back to the floor and come all the way on to your bottom. However you need to do that, use your hands if you need to. Hands behind you. Windshield wiper those legs or shake them out. My legs are feeling it today. And so is my core. So I guess we did it right, if that's what you're feeling too. And then let's slowly lower down. Set your heels into the floor. And then on a count of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lay back onto the mat. And your knees. We'll do the same thing we did at the beginning of the class, but without the block. So your hands can be at the sides of your body. You can actually even grab the mat with your hands and just hold on to the mat. So dial your feet away, press your lower back into the mat, and slowly lift your hips away. So you're not really coming into bridge pose. We're doing more of a glute press. Feel the glutes press together. Pull the heels towards your shoulder blades. Keep squeezing. Keep pressing. Keep lifting. Feel where you're feeling it. Is it in your legs? Is it in your hip flexors? Is it in your glutes? Is it in your core? Is it in your ankles? And then slowly lower all the way down. And then make that little rock and roll or windshield wiper or shaking the legs, whatever feels right. I also like that shaking of the legs. So this is fun too. Just get your feet over your hips and just shake the legs out, especially after we did so much with the thighs and the hip flexor. Shake it out, shake out the ankles. And then pull those knees into the chest one last time. We'll finish up in a twist, drop to the right. The left arm opens, gaze to your thumb. Taking big breaths again into that whole exposed open side of the body, that left side. You might even want to continue to purse your lips and force the air out. You're going to feel, again, your core contract maybe a little bit more because it's more intentional. And then come back onto the spine and then roll onto your left side, twisting your gaze to the right. Holding onto that right side, that right leg with your left hand. And then ready to prepare for Shavasana. Putting on socks or grab a blanket or anything that you need for most comfort. Take your legs as wide as they can go, or as long and wide. I like to have my feet at the edges, the corner of the mat, maybe even sometimes off the mat. So experiment what feels right for you. Take your arms out to the sides, let your body be heavy. So as you inhale, feel an expansion in the chest. And as you exhale, feel a surrender in the whole body. And then just coming back to stillness, and back to an opportunity just to embody the practice, feeling what is left over after all the movements. And embodying that, taking it into every one of your cells, having it felt. Let your breath be free. There's no controlling anything. And once again, staying here longer if you have the time. Otherwise, I invite you to start to stretch through the whole body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, rocking your head, pulling your knees into your chest, rounding your back, and roll on to one side. Keeping your eyes closed, just gently start to work your body up to an upright position once again. And finding stillness in this upright position. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. And back to that intention. A clear, empty mind, a alert, vibrant body. Clarity as you step into your day. Take that intention with you. May you feel loving kindness. May you be happy and well. May you be peaceful and at ease and continue to be healthy and safe and happy. Take a moment just to bow forward, feeling a sense of gratitude for all of your blessings. Giving thanks. As I give thanks to you for joining me. And I wish you a beautiful day. Namaste.